Yeah, I'm just really interested in the discourse between students and teachers and how it's developed over time.
Yeah, it would be cool to be able to go back in time and gain some perspective.
Yeah, especially when comparing, the teaching practices of now and the past. It's almost as if we could wish we had a Zoom time machine.
All right.
We have just gotten back from our English lesson where we were drilling our alphabet. Students learn their best with the teacher giving them the instruction and they need and them learning. Students who raise their voice or opinions in the classroom are a distraction to others. A student's place in the school is to be quiet and learn from the content written on the board.
Don't students get bored or distracted?
No, students who are disengaged, oh boy, will receive punishment as their own poor behaviour, stopping them from learning. And worse, they may even cause others to indulge in bad behaviour.
I guess, so should students ever choose what they would like to learn?
That's absurd. Would a child ever choose what to learn?
Miss, I just have a question about my 3 times tables.
That's inappropriate. I don't know.
I can't believe the classroom is like that. It's sad to see a classroom with no student voice, and the only assessment is formed through the initiate, response, evaluate questioning, which today we know is ineffective.
In today's classrooms, we use Socratic questioning, which informs and creates discussion, unlike 70 years ago, which had minimal to no discussion. So their learning was not meaningful, unlike concrete learning, which by continuing to build up their previous knowledge, they don't know exactly why they're learning it.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. I think we should time travel back to the 1970s, and observe our parents' generation of learning. I think that'll be so cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll see you there.
Make a times table race. This is how we group the students who work hard and those who don't.
What about the students who struggle with mathematics?
Well, they should be working harder. We focus on the students who are focused on the content, and unfortunately, others fall behind. If they're not here to learn and do not put in the effort, then why bother give them extra assistance? We do not work collaboratively, and the students must sit in silence and learn. How can you learn from each other when you don't even know what you are learning?
So all the learning comes from you?
Partially, we've had some textbooks in my class where he asked me what the meaning of timetables were. I just looked at him and feels crazy. What is the point of learning why we use timetables? We don't need to know why we need timetables. It's going to help us through high school and it's going to get us into the workforce.
So, excuse me, can I please have some help with my times tables now?
Maybe if you finish your work, we can come back to this.
That was a big shock for me. It's so unfair for the students with no means of differentiation. There must have been so much pressure on them to meet the expectations in the classroom.
Oh yeah, this classroom adopted the rote learning approach. It almost sounds like Skemp's instrumental theory. That's so out of date now. Imagine learning about multiplication, but not knowing why you're learning about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. The teacher definitely demonstrated in that interview that the students aren't developing conceptual understanding. They're just learning the process. I mean, whilst we had this Zoom time machine, I think we should travel back to when we had our generations of learning.
We have been working in our math groups to discuss how we can explain subtraction using hands-on materials. As a teacher, I have the responsibility to not just be a dictator of information, but as a facilitator for understanding.
How do you create this discussion in the classroom?
Well, I like to incentivise students' inquiry into their own learning. When they're interested in investigating and exploring for themselves, it's much more contextualised and meaningful.
Whose voice is more important in the classroom environment?
Oh, I think it's best to have a variety of voice in the classroom, and for me to encourage this collaboration and joint construction through effective questioning.
Hey Miss, can I get some help with this?
Yeah, sure can. I'll be there right in a second.
That was a much more enticing classroom environment. Students felt like they could put in their own learning and inquire about their own interests.
Really changed over the past 30 years within the classroom. Bruner's theory of discovery learning has made a big impact upon teaching pedagogies in the 21st century. This really allows students to take part in their own learning.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really glad we got to go back in time and experience this. And we can use this knowledge to develop our own teaching practices in the future.